compared to when I came into office when we had nearly 180,000 American troops in. Afghanistan and Iraq today, that number is less than 15,000. Most of our troops have come home. You will never be strong enough to destroy America or our way of life. You are going to lose. But part of that is because we're on the right side of history. And part of it is because we can mobilize others to work with us. When we use force, we have a responsibility to use it proportionally. Unlike terrorists who try to kill as many people as possible. The United States military goes to extraordinary lengths to avoid civilian casualties. It's the tragedy of war, however, whether it's conventional warfare, or precision strikes that innocents sometimes are caught in the crossfire. And these are deaths that haunt us all. Nobody more than me. As technology evolves, we can never grow numb to the consequences of our actions. We have to hold ourselves to high standards, be even more transparent. And do everything in our power to prevent the loss of innocent life. That's how America goes to war. And that's how ultimately, America also wins the peace. And we have a responsibility to always give our troops a clear mission. The support they need to get the job done, and a plan for what comes after. I insisted, for example, that our surge of forces in Afghanistan be matched. With a transition to ensure Afghans took responsibility for their own security. In Libya, we were right to launch an air campaign to prevent Gaddafi from massacring innocent civilians. But we didn't do enough to plan for the day after, when deep-rooted tribalism plunged Libya into disorder. In Syria, the suffering in the civil war has been heartbreaking to see a nation shattered. And hundreds of thousands killed and millions driven from their homes. It is gut-wrenching. And as a father, I look at Syria's children and I see my own. That's why we've said the dictator, Assad, must go and why we support a moderate Syrian opposition. And it's why America provides more humanitarian aid to the Syrian people than any other nation. But suggestions for deeper U.S. military involvement in a conflict like the Syrian civil war have to be fully thought through. Rigorously examined with an honest assessment of the risks and trade-offs. How will it alter the conflict? What comes next? When we ask those questions, we prevent the kind of mission creep that history teaches us to avoid. If Iran and Russia want to spill their blood and treasure trying to prop up their Syrian client and get sucked into a quagmire, that is their choice. As President of the United States, I've made a different choice. And the only real solution to the Syrian conflict is a political solution. Including a transition away from Assad. And that takes diplomacy, not American soldiers being dragged into the middle of another. Civil war in the Middle East. Our foreign policy has to be strong, but it also has to be smart. Which brings me to my last lesson that I want to share. as powerful as our military is. We have to remember that many of the threats to our security cannot be solved by military force alone. We've got to draw on every tool, all elements of our national power. When we invest in the development that promotes education and opportunity around the globe, it can make conflicts and military interventions less likely later. So if you want to support our military, you also have to be in favor of foreign assistance. That helps some young person learn in a very poor country. Because it may end up making it less necessary to send our sons and daughters somewhere to fight. You can't separate the two. When we encourage economic and political reforms when citizens, especially young people, in other countries have jobs and can choose their own leaders and have their human rights and dignity upheld, that can help reduce the appeal of violent extremism. We now have hope of averting the worst effects of climate change and the instability. That would threaten our national security because American leadership helped rally. The world and forge the most ambitious agreement in history to fight climate change. So if we're going to seize the possibilities of our time, we have to use all these tools, and we have to have the courage to chart new paths. Because we negotiated with Iran and enforced strong sanctions. We reached a deal that prevents Iran from obtaining a nuclear bomb, and we did it without firing a shot. With diplomacy, not war. And perhaps no element of our power is more enduring than the example that We set ourselves the values we live as a nation and as individuals. That's how we won the Cold War, not just with the strength of our arms, but with the power of our ideas, the power of our example. It's how we defend our nation, including our refusal to torture, because America doesn't just insist that other countries respect human rights. We have to uphold them, as well, and lead the way. We live our values when our military, like America itself, truly welcomes the talents of all people. We're stronger when our gay and lesbian cadets and troops can serve. Their country, a country they love without hiding who they love. We're stronger when cadets like Wasim Sumro and Ismail Baumedi and James Salem know that we celebrate their service as proud. Patriotic Muslim Americans who are also serving in our armed forces. And on this 40th anniversary of the first female cadets arriving at this academy, we are stronger because General Johnson leads this institution. Because Air Force General Lori Robinson leads Northern Command, our nation's first female combatant commander. And because all combat positions in our military are now open to women like you. We're stronger because of it. So there you have it, a few thoughts from your Commander-in-Chief. On how to keep our military strong and our nation secure. We can never know what the future holds. But in the not-so-distant future, when I'm no longer president, I will sleep well at night because I know that men and women like you serve to keep us free. Take care of each other. Take care of those under your command. Congratulations, class of 2016. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America. Barack Obama. On lifting Iran sanctions and U.S. detainee releases. Delivered January 17, 2016. This is a good day, because, once again, we're seeing what's possible with strong American diplomacy. As I said in my State of the Union address, ensuring the security of the United States and the safety of our people demands a smart, patient, and disciplined approach to the world. That includes our diplomacy with the Islamic Republic of Iran. For decades, our differences with Iran meant that our governments almost never spoke to each other. Ultimately, that did not advance America's interests. Over the years, Iran moved closer and closer to having the ability to build a nuclear weapon. But from Presidents Franklin Roosevelt to John F. Kennedy to Ronald Reagan, the United States has never been afraid to pursue diplomacy with our adversaries. And as president, I decided that a strong, confident America could advance our national security by engaging directly with the Iranian government. We've seen the results. Under the nuclear deal that we, our allies and partners reached with Iran last year. Iran will not get its hands on a nuclear bomb. The region, the United States, and the world will be more secure. As I've said many times, the nuclear deal was never intended to resolve all of our differences with Iran. But still, engaging directly with the Iranian government on a sustained basis, for the first time in decades. Has created a unique opportunity, a window to try to resolve important issues. And today, I can report progress on a number of fronts. First, yesterday marked a milestone in preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Iran has now fulfilled key commitments under the nuclear deal. And I want to take a moment to explain why this is so important. Over more than a decade, Iran had moved ahead with its nuclear program, and, before the deal, it had installed nearly 20,000 centrifuges that can enrich uranium for a nuclear bomb. Today, Iran has removed two-thirds of those machines. Before the deal, Iran was steadily increasing its stockpile. Of enriched uranium enough for up to 10 nuclear bombs. Today, more than 98% of that stockpile has been shipped out of. Iran, meaning Iran now doesn't have enough material for even one bomb. Before, Iran was nearing completion of a new reactor capable of producing plutonium for a bomb. Today, the core of that reactor has been pulled out and filled with concrete so it cannot be used again. Before the deal, the world had relatively little visibility into Iran's nuclear program. Today, international inspectors are on the ground, and Iran is being subjected to the most comprehensive, Intrusive inspection regime ever negotiated to monitor a nuclear program. Inspectors will monitor Iran's key nuclear facilities 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. For decades to come, inspectors will have access to Iran's entire nuclear supply chain. In other words, if Iran tries to cheat, if they try to build a bomb covertly, we will catch them.